Hello, my name is Larry Martin and I'm a solutions consultant with Beyond 20. Had a customer ask me the other day, how do you make a specifics? And I thought, that might be an interesting video. Specifics are one of those things that many people learn to do in the admin training and or in their foundations course, but there are those out there who are just coming on board or who have not had any formal training and they don't know how to create a specifics. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. Now keep in mind that there was a change made in 821 where specifics were able to be mapped using the incident subcategory table, whereas before that you had to do a group mapping. Today I'm going to work with an 821 system and I'm only going to deal with mapping the specifics using the incident subcat table. For 831 and above, this will work for both the portal and the default view. But the main part of this video is to show you how to create a specifics. So to create a specifics, the first thing you're going to do is open an admin client, and then you're going to create a new blueprint. You're going to go to the supporting object type. You're going to leave the new object selected, and you're going to create a new business object. Now we're just going to give this a specifics-demo name. Always make sure you put in a good description. Demo of how to create a specifics. Now I usually like to make sure that my specifics show up in OneStep, Search Manager, and Expression Manager. Sometimes you may want them to show in Table Management, and that's fine. If you want to add an image to show up over here on the left, you would select this button and choose an image. Now, the most important thing before you hit OK is to come to the group box here and make sure that you select it's a member of the group specifics. Once you've done that, now you can start adding your fields. And I'm just going to create a couple of quick fields. We're not going to set any values on them. If you select a field that already exists in the group, then you can use that field. Remember, you are limited to 1,024 fields in the specifics group, so recycling an existing field is a good idea. So we'll go ahead and say yes to that. Let's create another field, specifics field 1. We'll leave that as a text field. Is a specifics, we'll make that a logical. Now remember, with the logical fields, you always want to make sure that in the advanced properties you allow nulls. If you don't, you will not be able to bring a ZAR from one system to another. In addition, I always like to set a default value of unchecked. Obviously, if the default should be checked, then you would leave it at checked. If you're unsure, you can leave it alone, but always make sure you set the allow nulls. We'll save that. We'll go ahead and put a third field on here. We'll call this quantity of items. We'll make that a number, and that's enough for the demo. So once we have that, we'll go ahead and hit our checkbox. All that is committing the save, so that we have those fields available if we moved anywhere else. We're not going to, but I wanted to show you that. Now, one other thing before I start creating the form, specifics type name. This is the name, as shown here, of this particular specifics. This is important because once you start creating a bunch of specifics and you need to do automation processes based on those specifics, you can set those automation processes up to be when an incident is created and the specifics type name field equals the name of your specifics. So that's one way to start setting up automation processes. It's also a way, if if you have multiple specifics and you only want to take action on specifics 1 and 2 but not 3 and 4, you use the specifics type name to reference this particular specifics. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is create a form. Now the easy thing to do is to do the form wizard. However, be aware that it sets everything to the right, the fields to the right of the labels, and that's not necessarily the best way to do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these 2 fields that were not part of my specifics, and then I'm simply going to shift the word or the label name up, and I'm going to bring the field over to the left. I'm also going to shorten that field after I bring it up. Additionally, you generally want to remove the banner name off your specifics. It doesn't quite look right when it comes into the rich client. You've got your area here. Let's go ahead and come over here. I'm having a graphical glitch. I apologize for that. I'll just open this ticket real quick. So if, I'm sorry, I opened a task. I did not notice I was searching on tasks. Whenever you have your investigate incident, if you don't remove that banner off of the specifics, then it's going to show up here and then say specifics-demo. And that may or may not be something that you want to see in your system. So I generally remove the banner from specifics for that reason. I don't want to see that inside the rich client on the incident. So I'm going to bring my specifics field 1 label up. I'm going to bring my field over, and then I'll adjust it. I'm going to bring is a specifics logical over, and then we'll bring it up. I'm going to bring the quantity of items up, and then the field over as well. So you may have noticed I'm hitting Control to multi-select. When you select a field on the form and then another field, the second field is your anchor point or your reference point. So whenever I select the field first, then the label, then I can align left, and that'll bring that field over there with the label. Alright, now specifics do not require a grid, but if you want to stay in good habits, go ahead and do the grid and the grid wizard. We'll save our changes. We'll do a grid wizard, and we'll just accept the defaults. Now we're going to save that, and again we use a naming convention of year, month, day, _time, and then a name. And that helps us make sure that we know where something happened, what its place was, as I obviously did not do here. Alright, we'll save the blueprint, then we'll go File, Publish the blueprint, then we'll go into the rich client and associate that with a subcategory. And then we'll create an incident with that subcategory and take a look at what it looks like. So in our rich client, we'll go to Tools, Table Management. Now, depending on your security rights, you may or may not be able to see Table Management. We're going to pick the incident subcategory table. Then we're going to just pick something. Now, let's make it simple. Let's do Account Management and Network Access Change Password. So that uses the specifics generic. We're going to change it to use our new specifics demo. We'll save that, and then if we create a new incident, and we'll classify it with our network access change password, draw this down, and there is our new specifics. So name isn't validated, even though in the reason it's showing a drop down is because the group field is validated somewhere. But we're not using a validation on our specifics. Then here's our specifics field 1, here's our logical, and then here's our quantity. Anyhow, I hope you find this useful. That's the quick, easy way of how to create a specifics and associate it. Obviously, there's more to it, depending on the field you want to add to it and any automation you want to put behind it. But this will get you started.